Hi, I'm Jason Zuidema. I work for NAMMA, which is the North American Maritime Ministry Association. We're an association of seafarers' welfare organizations here in North America. And we have connections with the rest of the world through ICMA, the International Christian Maritime Association. And NAMMA is represented in about 50 ports here in North America, ICMA at about 700 ports around the world. So on the first session of the keynote session on the first day of this wonderful conference, I was together with a number of other leaders from the international organizations. And it was really interesting to hear so many of the different dynamics that are happening in the industry. Some of the key takeaways that I had was the value of working together. It was interesting sitting up on the panel with these other important international organizations. And I noted in my remarks that throughout the pandemic, the crew change crisis, throughout the difficulties of sourcing vaccinations for seafarers, the difficulty especially in the Ukraine war, it was so vital that all of these organizations would regularly meet together and share best practices together. And I think going forward in the industry, this working together, these informal and formal meetings are so important. The agenda in the last few days has been packed with ideas about seafarers' welfare, lots of things to do with the human element in shipping. A few of the takeaways that I got that were really important. It's been mentioned a number of times just how important mental health for seafarers is. I remark, but also a number of others in the seafarers' welfare organizations remark at how important shore leave is for seafarers. Shore leave is not just a nice-to-have thing for seafarers, but it's really important for the day-to-day well-being of seafarers. The second thing that was noted is so many of the companies that are here are selling products based on the availability of the internet on board ships. So that internet increases efficiencies. Probably part of the decarbonizing process is understanding how your ship is operating. So you need internet connectivity. Well, for us, the side light of all of that is that internet connectivity is important for crew communications, being able to communicate with their families back home, with their friends, their loved ones, being able to perhaps do some trainings, being able to even communicate with each other. And I think that's a really big takeaway of these conversations, the big digitization conversations, is that there's a human side to that. It's not just ones and zeros, but the humans now have these new tools going forward. And it's increasing really rapidly from my perspective, that even a few years ago, they didn't have so much ability to communicate back home. And the bandwidth now that is growing exponentially on board ships has an impact on the humans on board. Well, NAMMA and ICMA have some impact on the issues of shore leave, on the impact on the availability of internet, some of the other crew welfare challenges in a few different ways. So a lot of our members here in North America and then around the world, one of the big things they do is go on board ships and ask seafarers how they're doing and what they can do for them. I think actually the biggest underrated thing is just that conversation, being able to have conversations with seafarers who are far away from home. Seafarers then can just have contact with some local person who can have a friendly conversation. But seafarers, like the rest of us, have small needs. But when we have small needs that are unmet, they can feel much bigger than they are. For me, land-based person, to need to get a tube of toothpaste at a local market, it's really no big deal. I can get in my car, I can walk and go get it. It's easy, I can get it anytime. But for a seafarer who might need some small thing, responding to that small request actually can also have, there's almost a mental health side to things, that these small things can relieve their stress. And so we help in many, many small but important ways, the seafarers around the world, just helping them get that communication with a SIM card back home, come to our Seafarer Center and enjoy a night out from the ship, get that tube of toothpaste or the souvenir or some little gift for their family before they go back home.